and welcome to this edition of Referees Corner. I'm your host, Earl Baston. Joining me are some youth referees. I'll let them introduce themselves, and we'll start with Isaiah. Introduce
Good
yourself.
evening. Good evening. My name is Isaiah O'Brien. I'm 15 years old.
On to you, Zuri.
Evening, my name's Zori Swan and I'm 15 years old.
Sarah.
Good evening. My name is Sar Smith, and I'm 15 years old.
Keyshawn.
Good evening. I'm Keyshawn B, and I'm 23 years old.
And Dunstan.
Good evening. My name is Dunstan Desar, and I am 11 years old.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you very much. Welcome. Dunstan, let me start with you, being that you're the youngest. What do you like about refereeing, officiating?
I like the people. They're nice. Yeah. The people are. It's a nice community, and yeah.
Okay. This is your first year doing it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, Zuri, I've had you on here before. What are some of the things you kind of enjoy when you're officiating?
I like seeing the players play, and because sometimes you do the same teams a lot of the times, and yeah, I like seeing the younger teams, seeing the players develop.
Okay. And Saw, for you, you're not a stranger to this as well. How much joy are you having this season in officiating?
I'm liking it a lot more this season. I'm in the middle a bit more this year. So yeah.
Okay, good stuff. And Isaiah, I know you fluctuate between the youth and you do a lot of the adult matches. How much fun is it when you're doing the youth games, especially the youth games, and you see yourself kind of thing running around there?
The youth games are fun to ref, like seeing the younger generation getting good battles and all that, and also the senior games. Also, you got experienced guys out there trying to test out the younger officials to see what they're doing. But yeah, it's fun to referee.
Sure. And Keyshawn, for you, you play senior football, but officiate a lot of the youth matches. How is officiating helping your game, and when you're actually playing?
Well, it helps me to see a different side of the game, actually, and helps me to be neutral with certain things. So, as a player, you're always trying to get one side of the referee, but when you're a referee, you got to be neutral to both sides of everything. So, and then it's also funny to see that, as they almost said, the young players trying to get one up on us refs and trying to make us make certain calls and stuff. It's funny to see how they develop, but yes, it definitely helps to see both sides of the game pretty much being a youth ref right now. So yeah.
Sure. So let me come back to you because you're still playing. So how are you managing officiating games and then racing off to play in your game?
So most of the times, like on a Saturday, I'd probably do some under 9, under 11 game, and then I'd like do a girls game later. So like, cause my games are like at 1 or 2:30, so I just like go around my game, so I have enough time to have a break or whatever. Not so that I play all day.
That's a full day though, isn't it?
Yeah.
A full day of football. Dust is laughing at you because you're probably doing the same thing, aren't you?
Yeah.
How are you managing?
Well, some Saturdays, a few weeks ago, I was doing let's say like an under 7 or an under 9 game, and then doing under 11 girls. But I also play at 11:30. So yeah.
Racing through that. I just want to let the youngsters that are waiting in the back, we'll get to you after we finish with these guys. So just hang in there. Zuri, how when you're playing now, how much of the game do you look back and say, I'm a player now, not an official, because those two things can get you confused if you're doing the same thing, aren't you?
Well, actually, I don't play anymore.
You don't?
But no,
You're having that much fun officiating?
I guess. But I will say when I'm watching football, like Premier League or something, it is kind of like sometimes I get a little biased for my team, but it's like I have to remember, like think as if I was a referee. Like how
Mm,
would that be? So yeah.
okay, all right, nice, nice, nice. Isaiah, let me ask you: when you don't want to done your first couple of senior league games, you felt a bit intimidated by the pace or by the players?
The pace was a big difference. That's mainly it. I wasn't intimidated by the players because, like, I know the rules, and if you know the rules, it's walk in the park for you.
Mm, well said, well said. Okay, son, you get a lot of flack from your teammates because you're supposed to know all the rules to get.
Yes, that definitely. I saw that yesterday. I mean, it's funny, being a ref and a player because sometimes there'll be certain calls that happen in the game, but I'll be sitting there like, "Hey, yeah, that's an easy call," and then everybody else be arguing, "Oh, what was he called for?" And I'm just like, well, either I have to explain it to them, but I tell people that they have to always think to not be biased any moment and just think as if you was not even for either of the teams at the moment, and then you will see the different outlook on why a call was made or what happened and everything. So
Mm,
yeah, that's how it is.
yeah. So let me ask. I'm going to ask each of you. What rule do you struggle with the most? I'm going to start with you, Dunstan. You got to unmute. You haven't unmuted.
The
There you
rule that I struggle with the most is probably the offside. Because in under 7, under 9, you don't really have linesmen,
go.
right? You don't have linesmen or assistant referees. So, yeah, that's the main.
The struggle. Okay.
Yes.
Keisha, which one do you struggle with the most?
I'll give you two real quick ones. One I recently had was with a penalty, and the infringement for when the supposed to continue the run and they can't do
Uh,
their starter steps. Sometimes it's hard to see whether they stop fully or if they just continue. Then
right.
another one is the offside when the ball comes off, the defending team's player,
Mhm.
to know if that was like a deliberate touch or was it accidental, because it could be offside or could not be offside, rather damn two factors. So there's the two I could probably say are some hard to deal with.
Okay. All right. So, which one? What rule do you struggle with the most?
Hmm, Probably maybe when I do senior games, maybe like some players maybe fast, so when the ball comes over, it looks like the offside, so the other team's all shouting at you, but really the player's just that much faster. So like they're just so far ahead or whatever. So kind of like offside.
Okay. All right. Zuri, what about you?
I think it'll also be offside. Sometimes when I'm doing the line, I have to like make sure I'm staying in line with the last defender, not too ahead of them or behind.
Sure. And Isaiah?
I'll also say the one that Kishan said with the penalty, the status step.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big like. You gotta look at the box to see if any players are coming in, and also you gotta look at the player. And then if you also don't have a linesman to help you look at the goalkeeper, you gotta look at all three of them things at the same time. So that's a
Mission
big
Impossible. Mission Impossible.
that's a big challenge. Yeah.
But Isaiah, let me ask you. So, how much fun are you having now? Now that you know more about the game, you know all these rules. How much more fun are you having? Not only officiating but watching football.
Okay, like it's very fun now that I know the lower from inside of a referee's mentality. Like, so then when people screaming at you, "Oh, ref, that's a foul," you're going in your head like, in what world is that a foul? Or, oh, that's a card. In what world can that be a card? Or like, it's fun and just listening to the surroundings, but it's yeah, it's very fun. Reference.
Yeah, yeah. Zuri, so you do some senior games. So when you're looking at the players and that pace, what are you doing in training or asking for in training that can assist you when you come to those games that are much faster than the youth games?
Well, I don't do senior games yet. I mean, they keep on asking me to, but I haven't said
Mr.
yes
Williams ain't
yet.
twisted your arm yet? Mr.
He keeps on trying, but
Oh, okay.
um, I will say U13s. I do mostly do U13s line. Um, those games they're kind of slow, but you do get some teams where the pace is faster. So in training, you will have to focus. You have to focus. Make sure you're keeping in life there. I'm also focusing on the play at the same time. So in training, we do a lot of drills of running down the line, making sure you're looking in at the ref, making sure you're making the right call and stuff.
Mm, mm, mm. And so, looking at it from a standpoint of training aspect, what are some of the things you enjoy in training that helps you during games?
Um, well, I want to go back to one of the trainings last week. That was
Uh-huh.
like that one. We were like we had to like what was it? We had to like sprint to a cone, and then if they drop a ball wherever, we'd have to like blow the whistle. They'd say if I drop it from my right, it's a free kick going out or left. So you got to continue looking at the play, not where you're going.
Mm, you enjoy that?
Yes.
Yeah. And Keyshawn, for you, I mean, we can't talk about fitness because you're kind of too fit for that. So what are some of the minor things in the training aspect do you look forward to that assists you when you're officiating?
I mean, one thing I could say is something as in linesman work more because actually most of the times I'm in the middle when I'm
Hmm.
refereeing these youth games, and some aspects I might run the line, but I realize how hard of a job it might be for a linesman actually compared to the ref, because they're gonna
Hmm.
run back and forth sometimes to keep up with the play, while also having a good eye looking across the line and then also seeing if the ball's getting out to the left. So that's one aspect I'll say that's nice to look
Mm,
forward to. So.
yeah. And Dunstan, let's talk a little bit about the training. What do you enjoy about training?
What I enjoy about training is the um like when referees come from away.
Hmm.
I like that I could learn from them, what they
Hmm.
do, what calls they make, why they make their calls. I also like to see, my friends like at referee training because like a Sunday morning and yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask you all your final question and then I'm gonna bring in the other group. And I'll start with you, Dunstan, being that you got your mic open. What is the favorite drill you do in training?
Favorite drill I do in training is working with the assistant referees. They make their calls and then we make our calls and we make our calls. They make their calls and um, that's the part that I like the most.
Okay. All right. Keyshawn, what's your favorite one? What's your favorite drill?
I would have to say working on signals, because different signals, but you have to put at a certain level, certain
Yeah.
height, so that people know which is what. So I say signals is the best.
Okay. Sar?
Um, Kind of like the one I said earlier, probably.
Okay. What's your favorite drill? Okay.
Yeah.
Zuri?
I would say mine is when they have different color cones set up on the line and they call a different color and you have to sprint to those different colors. So you might have to sprint to yellow, then sprint back to blue. So yeah.
Okay. And Isaiah?
Similar to SARS, the decision makings like when he drops the ball, which hand and in which area, which will also determine color card you should give or just basic infringement.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to thank you five for joining us on this first half of this referee corner. I want to encourage you to keep going. The game needs you, both playing and officiating. It's important that the people have people they can rely on, such as yourselves. I know you guys, when you play, you wouldn't want to have an official, and so the youngsters behind you are looking to have officials as well. So I would encourage you to keep giving back and keep having fun with it. And if you have anything that's bothering you, you can always bend Mr. Williams' ear. All right?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. All
Thank you,
right.
thank you.
I'm gonna take a quick commercial break, and then when I come back, we're gonna be joined by 4 other youth referees. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Putting down the weapons.
You seen this?
Welcome back. I'm joined by 3 others. How are you today? I'm gonna let you all introduce yourself. I'll start with you, Jenna.
Good afternoon. I'm Jonah Trott. I'm 16. I attend the Barclay Institute, and I've been refereeing for about 4 years, I believe.
Okay. All right. Welcome. Daly?
My name is Daly Otterbridge. I go to the Whitney Institute Middle School, and I've been rapping for about 4 months.
Okay. And Natural.
Afternoon. My name's Natural Simmons. I go homeschool. I haven't really been rapping for that long.
Well, being that you got your mic open, Natural, what got you into officiating?
Because I went to Brazilian and Antu was going, so she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go." So I was like, "Oh, I'll go too." So, yeah.
No twisting arm, just the encouragement of going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did you like about it the most?
Because you get to learn new things, helps me to understand football a little bit better. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Daly, you said you've been doing it for 4 years. What's been the most enjoyable thing that you've gotten out of it so far?
I've did it for 4 months, but
4 months. Sorry, 4 months. Yeah.
the most enjoyable thing is that when the beep test,
Uh huh.
I didn't win it, but I came third,
Okay.
and it was fun because we was all making jokes and stuff.
Okay. So you like that challenge?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Jonah, you've been doing not only youth games, but you've been doing senior games as well. What's the enjoyment you get out of it?
Well, I enjoy all aspects of refereeing, especially coming from a footballer's aspect and a referee's aspect. I love the community that's around refereeing. Very enjoyable crowd to be around. But yeah, I just love refereeing, love footballing. Nothing else to it, really.
Sure. Well, let me ask you, what's been the most encouraging thing you've been able to get from not only the referees that come in from overseas, but the local ones as well that kind of encourage you to stay in it as an official? But I know you enjoy playing as well.
So the most enjoyable things, just refereeing with them. The local ones especially. I haven't been refereeing with much abroad referees. But the refereeing with local referees, I I can't really say anything that they've said special to me, but being with them, seeing their aspects of the game, I guess I wouldn't know what to say.
Right. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Daly, let me ask you. In the 4 months of officiating, what would you say you've struggled with rule wise?
Um, the offsides because I don't have no linesman.
Okay. All right. And what? Well, obviously a referee assistant would help you out in that regard. But how do you make up for it? How do you try to adjust?
I'll try to get like closer to the ball if I can. If
Okay.
no like little ones around.
Right. Right. And natural for you. You say you haven't been doing it for long, but let me ask you, what do you struggle with the most, and what can be done in training that could assist you?
Um, I feel like I struggle with like my signals the most, like know which ones they are and how they could. What was the last question again?
The training aspect, what could help you out?
Um, I really like just common more, just them showing me how to do it more,
Mm,
memorizing it.
right. Are you one of those that likes to ask for help, or do you just try to figure it out yourself?
Wow, I
A
just
bit of
try to
both.
see if, yeah,
The only way to learn more is to ask more, especially if you
yeah,
feel you need help in a signal. Just take the instructor to the side and say, "Can you show me this? And can you show me that?" You know what I mean? That's the encouraging
yeah.
thing right there. Yeah, yeah. Jonah, um, when you're doing youth games, how do you prepare yourself for these watching these kids running around, and there's almost like a beehive of people chasing a ball, and it's all that. So how do you prepare yourself for those type of games?
Well, those type of games, I just really try and keep up with the ball. Uh, to prepare for those games, I make sure I try and reflect on what I used to be like back in the day playing
Mm,
football as a 13, U11. You know, um, try and have these kids like have the best experience possible playing football. Try and keep them in football. That's that's my preparation for those type of football games.
sure,
As rep,
sure, sure. Daily, quickly, have you been playing football long? I know you say you only been officiating for 4 months, but have you been playing for a long period of time?
Yes, I've been playing since I was 7
Okay. Why football? Why did you choose football?
because I really enjoy playing with friends.
Okay. And you're still active today.
Yes,
Who do you play for? Who do you play for?
I play for North Village Whites under 13s.
Okay. All right. Natural. Did you ever play before doing this?
Yes, I do play football. I still play football for PHC. Um, I also play for the national team under 15s, and I've been playing since I was like maybe 7 too.
Okay. All right. All right. Jenna, well, you gotta get into the national team, man. If not, become a national squad referee. Are you in the national team, Jenna?
no, not for football, not yet, not yet.
Okay.
Maybe one day though, maybe one day.
Sure. Sure. Everybody.
But definitely for yeah, FIFA
Sure.
referee.
Hey, that's a positive way to look at it. Positive way to look at it. Um, Daly, let me ask you. I'm going to come back to you because what when you first decided you was going to get involved in officiating, what was your biggest fear?
The parents shouting at me. I was afraid that they're gonna shout.
Oh, and how has been your experience thus far?
No one's been shouting. I've been having great games.
Okay, all right. And natural, that same question. What was your biggest fear when you decided, let me go and do this? and then you find yourself on your own on a Saturday morning, and you got to do a game.
My biggest fear was probably I wasn't really scared of nothing like that, but I was probably scared of, like she said, like people shouting at me and stuff. Like, yeah,
Yeah, and how have you been so far with that?
good. They say some stuff, but like not like that.
Mm. And Jonah, I don't know if you would remember back to when you started, but especially I'll go to your first senior game. What was your biggest fear when you were asked to do a senior game and you were on the line?
My biggest fear. Um, my biggest fear is that I probably would have missed something,
Hmm.
and let my referee down and made the game totally different. But I don't think I could necessarily remember exactly my first senior game, but
Hmm.
that will probably be one of my biggest fears.
Okay, but you all got over it. You're all going through what you needed to get through. I want to keep encouraging you guys because without you, some of these youth games wouldn't get played. And remember, there was somebody that was officiating games when you were younger to play, so you got a chance to play. Back when I was playing, many couple of moons ago, the coaches had to do it because we just didn't have this initiative that Mr. Williams has now. We didn't have that. So whoever the home team was, the coach had to go in the middle. And of course, everybody would say, "Oh, that's that biasness, that's that cheating, and that's that home team advantage, and so forth." But you know, I'll come back to you, Daly, because when when you show up at a field and or you know who you're going to officiate, and have you had an issue where you say, "Oh, I'm going to have this tough person to deal with today," whether it be a parent, a coach, or a player?
Sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah.
It depends on the team. Like sometimes it's a problem with Tom.
Mm. So how do you prepare for that? Because you have to, in your mind, you have to figure out how you're going to adjust to whatever the issue is on the day. So how do you figure that out? Do you kind of speak to other officials, or do you just try to work it out with the team at hand?
I speak to the match commissioner that I usually have
Oh,
on that.
okay. Oh, all right. At least you're addressing the situation. What about you, Natural? Do you have an issue where there could be a coach, it could be a parent, it could be a player that when you see, oh man, I've got to go officiate this game and this person's playing, or that parent's there. How do you address that if you have that issue?
Well, I would normally like write it down on the paper that I give to my mama to, yeah. I write it down on the paper.
Hmm.
Um, how do I prepare for it? Um, I don't know really. I just, yeah,
Just work it out.
yeah.
All right. Well, good stuff. Good stuff. Jonah, um, if given the opportunity, I know you've done it in the middle for youth games. If given the opportunity, would you love to be in the middle of a first division or a premier division game?
Oh, I would absolutely love to be in the middle for a first division or Premier game. I've just been waiting for Mr. Williams to say, you know what, Jonah, I really need you in this game. Can you step up to the plate? And I would absolutely step up to the plate and start the whistle, blow the whistle, end the game for 90 minutes.
You have that much confidence in yourself.
I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Williams, I know you're listening. Jonah's up next. And I believe and trust in him that he can do it. And I'm pretty sure there's some other young officials that are capable of doing these games as well, given the opportunity and given the right support. So I want to encourage you, like I did the other youngsters, to stay in the game, enjoy playing, enjoy officiating. The game cannot be played without your role in it, especially as an official. So I want to encourage you, if you're having any problems, um, be sure to address it with Mr. Williams or any of your instructors, just to say that I need help in this regard. Don't be afraid to ask the question. Don't be afraid to get an answer that you might not like for now, but it will help you in the future. Okay? Thank you all very, very much. Folks, we'll be back next week, Monday, with another edition of the Referee's Corner here on IslandStats.com. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Biz.
All righty.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.